generally speaking, plans always say the male is 2 years, 3 years, 4 years older than the female. Our assumption is that the male and female are of the same age. Now, I note that we don't ask the question, we don't gather that data that to supply to Mr. Sharpe. Now, I know the prior actuary did believe in an assumption that the male was 3 years older than the female. So I'm curious to know why that assumption is used, A, and B, what the financial impact of using a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year difference in age between the male and female would have on our plans. Because while our policemen and firefighters may die at an early age, their spouses live well into the 90s, and we've all seen that data. So help me understand why we assume the wife is the same age as the husband.
I have to admit, I don't even remember that that's what the assumption is. That's a rather deep into the esoteric as far as the actuarial assumptions go. Mr. President, just to back up though, I don't necessarily recommend the tables, I approve the tables. Okay, it's the pension boards with these discussions that ultimately recommend these and give me the direction to finalize the calculations. Okay.
And thank you for the correction.
The same would be true with the spouses. All right, for number one is, if we have the spouse information, we use the actual spouse information. So there is no assumption involved in that situation. The only time that the assumption would be used most likely would be for the ACTA members where we wouldn't have that information, and frankly, I think there is an assumption that the spouse is 5 years younger. I mean, we use almost time and time again. It may be, if it's written in the report that they're the same age, then I will double check that, and if it's an error, I'll correct to make sure that the next report reflects that. But I don't recall my report where it's that is a specified assumption that the two are the same age. So, Lou.
Don't recall either, but we do provide Tim with all the actual information for all of the pensioners and their spouses that are currently in the fund, and but we can double check on that difference of the age for the spouses.